Hi Aries, welcome to your love reading for March 2017. We are working with two decks again, so let's go ahead and begin. This is going to be for confirmation, so we'll get to that in a minute, but first let's get 9 cards for you. This is a love reading for the sign of Aries for March 2017. First card that you have, Aries, is the Tower. Four of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords. Seven of Wands. King of Wands. Judgment. Five of Swords. Seven of Cups. And the final card will be Page of Wands. Okay, so the card at the bottom of the deck is going to represent the main energy around your love life for the month of March. And you have the Page of Pentacles. So to me, this represents kind of looking at things very carefully, examining, maybe even learning more about your partner or questioning your relationship. Really kind of questioning what is it that needs to be worked on or what needs to be healed. Okay, so let's take a look to see what we have here. Okay, let's start from the beginning. You have the Tower. So for some of you, the Tower does represent sometimes a very unexpected change. This is something that happens like overnight. There is no warning. So for some of you, you're looking at some type of big change in your love life. The Tower can represent, sometimes, depending what cards are around it, something positive or a challenge. Now what you have next to it is the Four of Pentacles. So this is a card of kind of holding on to things really tightly. This is, kind of a fear-based energy. In a love reading, this could mean you're holding on to a relationship, your partner. You're holding on a little bit too tight. I feel because you have the Ace of Swords here, and this represents a new beginning and a new way of thinking, that something has to change in your existing relationship in order for you to move to the next level. You do have the Tower, which means that there's going to be something significant, a big change in your relationship. But seeing, the Four of Pentacles there, I feel like whatever it is that wants to come in for you to, perhaps those who are dating, move you to the next level, which could be, marriage or getting engaged. I feel like here somebody's holding on too tight. There has to be a change in the way that you're thinking about your relationship or about your love life, maybe for those who are single. For those who are single, it could be that there's a new partner coming in, but there's a need to kind of re-examine the way that you're thinking. And remember, keep in mind that the main energy is the Page of Pentacles, which, like I said, this is a card of studying something, looking at your relationships or your love life very carefully. So I feel like there could be a big change for you when it comes to your relationship. And for those who are already coupled, I feel like the Tower could represent that you're finally, you finally have something solid, especially if you feel like your relationships have not been solid and you feel like, maybe you've had a partner who comes and goes, or a lot of indecision, because I definitely see something going on here with somebody kind of going back and forth with the Seven of Cups, and there's something going on here with the Five of Swords. I feel like there's a need to really look at your relationships this month very carefully. Look at your love life very carefully. There has to be a change in the way that either you're looking at your love life or your existing relationship. And for some of you, it could be that you're holding on. For some of you, it could be that you're holding on to someone that needs to be let go. And I say that because of the tower. And the tower does represent, that energy where if it's not on solid footing, then it will crumble. The tower will fall so that you can rebuild a tower that actually will fulfill you. Anything that's on shaky ground will crumble. So I feel like some of you, you might kind of feel, you may be seeing that you have been playing it safe when it comes to your love life. Or some of you, it could be that you're in your relationship, you've been holding on too tight. It's time to readjust your thinking with the Ace of Swords for those who are single. Maybe you've been, staying out of the loop. You've not been dating with the Four of Pentacles because you've been hurt. You've been kind of, keeping to yourself out of fear. There's a need to change the way that you're thinking because something dramatic wants to change for you with the Tower. And the Tower, like I said, is that kind of shocking energy where there is no warning. It's just something that happens just quickly overnight. So I feel like for some of you in relationships where you don't belong anymore, and you know that, because especially because of what I see, like right here, these three cards, Seven of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Seven of Cups, where there's a lot of negativity, looking down on you. Somebody keeps sabotaging the relationship, a lot of confusion. Some of you might realize, that I've been holding on to this person for the wrong reasons, and you may come to this conclusion, like, very unexpectedly with the Tower there. And the Ace of Swords, this is, kind of that epiphany, that aha moment where you finally tell yourself, what in the world have I been thinking, putting up with so-and-so? I deserve better. So this is kind of like a sense of enlightenment. So I feel like a lot of you are kind of examining your relationships with the Page of Pentacles being here as the main energy. A lot of messages coming through. Kind of hard to really pin it down to one thing because it's a general reading. But just kind of keep in mind that there could be a very kind of shocking turn of events when it comes to your love life. And I feel like for the most part, it's because of you. It's not that something, that your partner just kind of surprises you. I guess it could happen because it could happen for you, or it could be that your partner does this. But I feel like it's you because of the Ace of Swords. This is a change in the way that you're thinking. And I feel like because of this change that something very unexpected happens. You're finally able to have a stable relationship, because I feel like whatever is that's going on right here, this is not stable. Okay, so you also have the Seven of Wands. So this represents you needing to stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself. It does represent that you're kind of afraid to bring up certain issues to your partner. You're afraid of what the outcome might be or how they're going to react. This just, it means that you're even kind of a little bit afraid of speaking your mind. And it could be that you're tired of what's going on right here. You're tired of somebody not knowing how they feel about you with the Seven of Cups. And for some of you, maybe those who are single, somebody that keeps going back and forth, the Seven of Cups does represent a lot of choices and indecision. And it could be, this is something that where you're just kind of sick of it with the Five of Swords. This represents, negative energy, and it could represent sabotage. It could represent, decisions that you've made that you wish you could take back. I don't know, I just get the feeling from this reading that for some of you, you're kind of waking up to the fact that you can do better. I mean, it's not going to apply to everyone, but I see a lot of that energy in this reading all over the place. I just feel like for some of you, you're finally kind of waking up and you're speaking up. Maybe not everyone is going their separate ways, but I feel like you're finally speaking about the elephant in the room right here. I feel like something has kind of clicked mentally that, hey, I need to say something. I need to do something. This is kind of, like I said, that epiphany, that mental epiphany, a new way of thinking. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's that I don't need to hold on to this person out of fear anymore. Or I don't need to stay with this person because they provide, material things. And like I said, you could shock your partner with the sudden revelation. Now, for some of you, this could be your partner. You have the King of Wands. It could be you. You are a fire sign. It's interesting that this Court card is surrounded, by this fiery energy of kind of saying, no more. Like I said, this is you standing up for yourself, speaking up for yourself. even to that person, you know, your partner, where you're a little bit afraid, where you don't want to anger them, you don't want to lose them. I feel like for those of you where you're really kind of speaking your mind, I definitely feel like this is you now that I've said this. This will end in a positive way. You have the Judgment card. Judgment does represent, you know, a second chance, a new beginning, and it is lined up here with another new beginning, and with the Page of Wands, which represents good news and positive change. So I feel like for some of you where you've been worried to bring up certain issues to your partner, you know, maybe that they're not committing, maybe that you're tired of lies, or kind of them being wishy-washy, you're finally kind of looking at this very carefully and thinking, I deserve better. And Judgment does represent, you know, coming back from a very dark place. So you feel like nothing can heal my relationship. Nothing can heal my relationship. We have hit rock bottom. There's no coming back from this. You can with this energy. This represents coming back. Kind of, you know, we see these people coming out of the coffins here, coming back from the dead. For some of you, this can even be, you know, a relationship that you thought was dead. Somebody from the past coming back into your life. This is, you know, lined up here with new beginnings and, you know, change and excitement. But I feel like in some way, like, you need to say what's on your mind. I feel like you've been thinking about some things regarding your love life or your relationship, or you're finally ready to talk. You're finally ready to get certain things off your chest. So the Five of Swords. So I've always said in my readings, this is my least favorite card in the tarot because of what it represents. It represents many things, but all of them are challenging, and all the fives are challenging. This can represent, let's start with the decision. It can represent an unwise decision. And it could be that some of you, you got involved with someone, and, you know, where this person is very wishy-washy with Seven of Cups. They go back and forth, and they're committed, and then they're not committed. I feel like you're finally saying something about this. Again, this ends on a positive note with the Page of Wands. This is communication as well. The pages represent communication, and this represents a lot of fiery communication. So it could be an unwise decision that maybe you got involved with, those who are single, with someone that is not really committing, and they keep going back and forth. And it could be that they're dating other people, because the Seven of Cups represents, you know, lots of choices. Too many choices where you're emotionally overwhelmed. But it could also be, you know, with the Five of Swords, it also represents somebody that does not have your best interests at heart. Somebody that's kind of sabotaging things. And for some of you, this could be your partner, your spouse, or maybe what's going on here is that you're doing everything you can to keep the relationship together, compromising, accommodating them, and basically they come and ruin everything. That's kind of like a short version of what this card represents. Sabotage. And I feel like for some of you where that applies, where you feel like this person, you know, I keep trying, but they keep sabotaging everything that I'm doing. There's a lot of confusion as far as like, will you continue? And I feel like for those of you where there is someone that keeps sabotaging, you know, everything that you're doing, this could be that there's other choices for you. There could be another partner that is a much better fit. Either way, you know, you end with this message of there's going to be change, and there's going to be good news, and there's going to be excitement. So I feel like for the majority of you, like, you're able to work through this, whatever it is that has been creating, you know, a challenge in your love life and your relationship. But I just feel like it's something that where you have to say something. You finally have to speak up and talk about something that you've not wanted to bring up to your partner. Okay, let me get some more cards to see what other messages there are for you. Let's see. The Hangman. Four of Wands. Knight of Wands. Okay, so still that message of, you know, good news with the Four of Wands here. You are being told that you have to change the way that you're thinking about your love life. And ironically, it's right next to the Ace of Swords. The Hangman represents being in limbo, not knowing where you stand. And, you know, that's where I kind of mentioned with these 3 cards here, you don't know where you stand. You're examining your love life, your relationship. With the Hangman, you're not really moving forward. You're stuck. And this card is all about perspective. Somebody needs to change the way that they're thinking, the way that they're viewing their love life, their relationships. And like I said, it's right next to the Ace of Swords, which represents a new way of thinking. So I feel like for some of you, this means changing the way that you view yourself. This could be self-love. This could be the way that you're looking at your marriage, your existing relationship. Something has to change in order for you to move forward. You do have the Four of Wands, which represents marriage. And it represents, you know, a marriage with a firm foundation, stability, you know, which what I was getting that from the Tower. There could be a shakeup in your relationship so that you end up right here. So that you're not kind of left in limbo with that energy of the Hangman, where you don't really know where you stand. And there's all these, like, you know, little things that are kind of picking away at your relationship. This is all to get you right here to the Four of Wands. Marriage, a happy home, children, and a firm foundation. And you're being told, you know, that this can happen very quickly for you. You have the Knight of Wands. The Knights represent change and movement. And this represents, you know, a lot of things happening quickly, but it also means that you have to be very determined. You have to be very determined to have the outcome that you want. This is very kind of fiery energy and kind of restless energy, determined to kind of make your mark, determined to get what you want. And it's right next to the Page of Wands. They even look similar. So I feel like for those of you where you're really struggling to keep a relationship together, where you really know it's worth it, you will see that change that you want. Okay, so let's move on to this deck and see what other messages come up for you. What additional guidance is there for the sign of Aries for March 2017? You have Strength. Four of Cups. Nine of Wands. At the bottom of this deck, the Hierophant. So the Hierophant does represent spirituality. It represents a lot of guidance. It could also represent your guides and angels kind of helping you with your love life this month. So you have this message of strength. This is all about you being brave. And I mean, definitely with the energies that I see in this reading, where you may have to talk about something that you really don't want to talk about. Maybe you're worried about the effect this is going to have on your relationship. You're worried about your partner, how they're going to react, whether they're going to leave. This is telling you have to be brave. And you can't allow the negativity to continue. This is about taming your inner beast or someone else's inner beast, which means their ego. This means you have to have a lot of courage to move forward. And, I mean, these cards here kind of explain why. Someone here is very unhappy. You have the Four of Cups. This is just kind of feeling disconnected and feeling really kind of like lost emotionally and just very unhappy with the way things are turning out. And I feel like somebody is just kind of not being respected in some way, especially next to the Seven of Wands, where there's a need to stand up for yourself. There's a need to stand up to someone that you're kind of, intimidated by, where you don't really want to anger them or lose them. And then you have this energy from the Nine of Wands. This does represent fear. It's another, fear-based energy. And it means that you're kind of protecting yourself. You're on guard. And you don't want to be hurt. This is, right next to the Five of Swords. So I feel like, there's something strange going on. Hard to say in a general reading. This is something that's not fair to you. For some of you, yes, it can be kind of a decision that you're making where it's usually when this card comes up, it's not the best decision for you. But this can mean that there's somebody in your life, your partner, that's doing things that are not right, not fair to you. In some way, this is really kind of sabotaging what you want in your own happiness. And I see here that somebody is really kind of protecting themselves, perhaps, from what's going on here. But the main message that I get from this reading is a need to kind of speak up when it comes to your love life and your relationship. You have a lot of, spiritual guidance here from the Hierophant. You're being told that you're supported spiritually. You will have, a sense of direction when it comes to what decisions you should be making. I feel like a lot of you will be examining your relationships or your love life to see if this is really what you want. But, I mean, seeing these cards, I definitely feel like somebody needs to say something. That's just what I get. Somebody needs to say something and do something where they feel, they have been left behind. You're no longer happy, you're confused. Somebody's sending you mixed messages. There's a need to really kind of stand up to someone. I do feel like there can be no happily ever after with the Four of Wands here. You can have that marriage and that stability that you want. You can have that second chance with the Judgment card. But there's a need for you to speak up, for you to take action with the Knight of Wands being here. Okay, Aries, this has been your love reading for March 2017. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you again next month.